What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and you're probably wondering what in the living hell is going on in the background gameplay, but allow me to explain. Tonight I have a fun video talking about just how Call of Duty could be taken to the next level, what the future of the franchise may introduce if Activision decides to take advantage of something that's about to be released. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And starting off with a brief introduction of what's going on here, we have Infinite Warfare Jackal Assault VR, a game that actually released in 2016, shortly after the launch of the game Infinite Warfare, one of the most hated Call of Duties of all time, which, look, I've said this before, the campaign was phenomenal for this title. Wasn't a big fan of the multiplayer zombies, but the campaign was out of this world. And as you can see, this VR experience gives you some heavy Star Wars vibes, and rightfully so, based on what the game is actually about. But this is available for the PlayStation VR headset, which came out also in 2016, so kind of makes me wonder, right? If the VR had come out maybe a year or two prior, would we have gotten a VR experience for Black Ops 3, which would have been insane, also taking place in the future, so I guess it would have made some sense. But this may in fact be one of the rarest and most forgotten parts of the Call of Duty franchise, which I don't think anybody has talked about in quite some time. And I get it, it's only a good 10-minute playthrough or whatnot, so I actually play it twice to beat my high score for this gameplay. And yeah, most VR experiences are quite short, some are longer than others, but this is still cool to revisit. In case you guys missed it very recently, we did get the official confirmation from Sony that PSVR 2 is going to happen. Yes, their second edition of the virtual reality headset, exclusive for the PlayStation 5. And as you can see from the specs, it's a massive step up from the PSVR 1, right? Only one cable into the headset this time because, yes, believe it or not, there are a good, I think, 5 to 6 different cables you have to deal with the first VR headset, which gets a bit frustrating, not gonna lie. You have to have a big space for it, so I get it. VR isn't for everybody, depending on what your setup size is like. I have the VR set up in another room on purpose because it would be way too much clutter to have that all in my office, so that's probably another reason why a lot of people don't get PSVR headsets or just VR in general, because you may need another big space to be able to play certain games that require the use of move sticks, the gun, or whatever the case is, which might not be suitable for some of the small spaces typical gamers grind in, whether it's a small office room, whether it's your bedroom, whatever the case is. But I wouldn't be surprised if scalpers took all of the VR 2 headsets in the future as well. There's no release date as of now, but honestly, VR is one of those things that not a lot of people have money just laying around to buy, especially when there aren't too many great games for it. There's actually a great catalog of games for PSVR 1, but I don't think interest in VR has really gone up over the years, at least in my opinion. Yeah, I get it, there's Oculus Rift, there's other VR headsets out there which are great and offer even more experiences than PlayStation does, but I still don't think we're at that stage in gaming yet where VR is the thing everybody wants to have. And you can disagree with me down below in the comments, I totally get it. But you know what, there were some really cool exclusives and add-ons for the PSVR specifically that I know I even streamed a couple of years ago when I had like, 1,000 or so subscribers. I really enjoyed my time with this headset, and it's great coming back to it every now and again. But let's get into Call of Duty, right? I personally believe that Activision has missed a couple of opportunities when it comes to their window with VR. I don't think VR is really relevant right now, but may become more relevant with the launch of PSVR 2 and other games at some point in the future. But imagine if Activision took advantage of VR back when they should have, when this headset came out, and aside from this Infinite Warfare game, they could have released, some campaign add-ons, bonus missions, a small multiplayer experience, or something as crazy as zombies, which we'll get into later on in the video. There is actually a gun-type VR add-on that you can hold. It's a controller that was made for the PSVR, and there are some really cool shooting games you can play with this, but Call of Duty has never been one of those games. And you guys probably didn't even know that Treyarch themselves commented on the fact that they were given dev kits from Sony to work on Call of Duty in VR, and they knew at the time that Infinity Ward was doing it with this Infinite Warfare Jackal mission, but they mentioned that, yeah, even though the sky is the limit, theoretically, with VR, it's still tough to get that fast-paced gameplay that Call of Duty is known for, to have a stable frame rate, to make sure that it's actually fun, and I think performance is one of those things that really held them back, and it's something that they consider a challenge, but they aren't exactly ruling out some type of Treyarch Call of Duty VR experience in the future. And since they essentially passed on PSVR 1 for a Treyarch experience, maybe PSVR 2 is where it's going to be at for Treyarch to eventually experiment with this. What if, instead of doing exclusive game modes like Onslaught, for example, or Survival from Modern Warfare Spec Ops, instead of doing game modes like that, which everybody wants to play, how about make the exclusive add-on for a new Call of Duty a VR experience? But I know, I get it, right? Exclusive game modes like Onslaught are already limited to one platform, and that is PlayStation, whether it's PS4, PS5, so a VR exclusive would be even more limiting to just just a certain group of people. I know that's not really fair, but wouldn't you rather have, you know, a VR add-on be the exclusive offer for that year and for that Call of Duty instead of a big game mode that everybody actually wants to play? And I'm not saying this because the VR add-on will be pointless or not fun. I think they can make a really cool Call of Duty add-on for PlayStation exclusivity, but I certainly think people would agree with doing that instead of locking a cool zombies game mode or something that you just know everybody wants to try out behind a year of exclusivity, if not longer. So imagine having a Call of Duty DLC that's exclusive to just PSVR. I know it'll get backlash regardless because people out there would want to use their Oculus headsets or other ones that, you know, can run even better games than the PlayStation 1 can, but I think it would be a cool step in the right direction if Sony and Activision are to continue their exclusivity deal for future Call of Duty titles. We have that deal going on right now with Vanguard, but not much is really being offered as a part of playing Vanguard on PlayStation. Yeah, there'll be the PS Plus packs and whatnot, but as you can clearly see, there wasn't enough time to make Vanguard, so there isn't an exclusive game mode that they put together for PlayStation, like there was last year with Cold War Onslaught or the year before with Modern Warfare Survival. Is the interest really here for Call of Duty VR? Maybe it's not, but I'm proposing this idea for those out there just to see how the reception is going to be, right, to this video and maybe tweets that I put out about it. I'm curious where people are right now in the Call of Duty community in terms of a VR experience, right? I know, would sales even be there to warrant a Call of Duty VR experience? Would they make much off of it? I know Infinite Warfare was extremely hated back in 2016, which could explain why this Jackal Assault mission might not have been too successful for Activision, right? I know it was a free download, but maybe the player count just wasn't there at all for them to have any interest in continuing Call of Duty experiences on the VR over in the future. Now, if the player count was high enough for this a good 6 years ago, maybe they would have considered doing something even crazier with VR. Now, imagine some type of Black Ops numbers trippy VR experience. How cool would that be, right? I mean, we've already gotten some really cool scenes in some Call of Duty campaigns, but imagine that taken to a whole other level with being able to experience it as if you were there in first person with the PlayStation Move sticks and just having this really versatile, dynamic experience that Call of Duty hasn't done before. Now, I think the best idea for how they could do something like this without having to, you know, hire a whole new dev team to make an entirely standalone game, why not just do what Resident Evil 7 did, Biohazard, where you could play the game normally as you would, just on your TV or your monitor, but then also have the ability to use your PSVR headset or any VR headset to play the game and go even further into the world that the game offers, right? Having a couple of extra things you could do here and there while wearing the headset and feeling like you're actually immersed in the experience rather than just sitting back in a chair and playing on a TV. Now, it's easier said than done, I get that, but like I mentioned with the Resident Evil 7 example, you could get another dev studio, hire them, or get another studio that maybe already works for Activision to give VR compatibility to an already existing Call of Duty title or even an upcoming title in the near future, which would be great, but like Treyarch mentioned in the article I referenced earlier, they even said there was an issue with motion sickness when coming up with a Call of Duty VR experience, which I get. I think other games out there have mastered that, other MP experiences or first-person shooter VR games on PlayStation, they figured out a way around that, but I think anytime you're playing VR for too long, you'll get sick anyway. But maybe there is a way to find that balance for Call of Duty, which you may not be able to see until technology gets a lot better with PSVR 2. I think this would be incredible to try out, and I think there is a lot of potential and power the PS5 has to make something like this a reality in the future if Activision is interested. But shall I remind you, there are other VR on the PlayStation multiplayer experiences, right? I think it would be a really cool offer to kind of reinvigorate the hype around campaigns, because Vanguard's campaign, at least in my opinion, just wasn't it. It had its moments, there were some impressive elements of the story, but overall, it was quite forgettable for a lot of people in the community, right? Cold War's campaign was phenomenal. People argue that Modern Warfare's campaign in 2019 was also great. I wasn't too on board with it, but I respect what it went for. So I think a way to really build up more energy around these story modes every year, which people only play once, if not maybe twice for the trophies, would be to maybe add a VR add-on to the campaign and be able to play it in a different way that we never have before with this franchise. Now, shall I remind you that other VR multiplayer experiences do exist. There are some great games I'll show you guys on screen that you can actually play with other people. And yeah, the player counts for these games are probably just not there now because these games are quite old, you know, a good 4 or 5 years old, but they were fun. I had a couple of buddies that own VR headsets and we grinded some of these multiplayer games. We had a ton of fun. Imagine Call of Duty with something like this, right? I mean, COD Mobile is super successful and you play it on a goddamn phone, which I know everybody has, right? Everybody has a phone, everybody could play, everyone has more access to, you know, COD mobile multiplayer versus a potential VR MP. I totally get that, but I even went and put together some crazy challenge videos a couple of years ago during Black Ops 4's life cycle where Fajardi and I actually got what I believe is the world's first Blackout victory while wearing VR headsets. And we did it again over in Blackout Alcatraz, that map, when that released a couple of months later. So we've done some crazy things with this headset, but now what you guys are probably wondering, what about zombies, right? And here's the cool thing about zombies, people have already put together VR zombies experiences, right? Call of the Dead, even some other maps. There's gameplay out there of these experiences and they look incredible. Now, we know Activision didn't actually put together those experiences, some talented individuals did, but just imagine if Activision invests just a little bit of money into a VR zombies mode. Just imagine how scary that could be, right? Imagine how they could bring zombies back to its roots with horror and that scary element. I mean, Resident Evil VR is the best example of doing a first-person VR zombies mode, and that was one of my favorite games I've ever played, so I can't even imagine how a round-based experience could be from Call of Duty. I don't know the exact release date of the PSVR 2, and nobody does. We could all predict in the next year or so. So imagine if, once COD 2023 finally rolls around from Treyarch again, they could do a zombies VR experience. It's exclusive to the PS5, of course, and if you have the PSVR 2 headset. And then once exclusivity, let's say, expires for this PSVR zombies mode or whatnot, then people on an Oculus or other VR headsets can go ahead and play it as well if they're on PC. I think that's a really cool bargain, but let me know how you're feeling about that down below in the comments. Now, don't forget, there are a lot of other problems going on with Call of Duty right now. I completely understand that, and I've reported on that a number of times. So I know that a VR experience won't be a priority for them, but I'm sure when things are stable again for Call of Duty, we could see something like this happen in the future, especially when hype around VR does come back around with PSVR 2 in the next year or two, whenever that does come out. 2016 was a different time, right? Infinite Warfare was down bad. Everybody knows that. It was the most hated Call of Duty reveal trailer on YouTube, one of the most disliked trailers on YouTube, shall I add. And because of the downfall of that game, right, DLC still came out with the Season Pass, of course, the 4 map packs, but nothing beyond that. Black Ops 3 got additional year of DLC, more weapons, some maps, Zombies Chronicles, even when World War II was out, Black Ops 3 got updates. So everybody knows that it was kind of a weird time for COD, which people are looking back at now and saying that they were the golden days, which is hilarious. It's the COD cycle perfectly at work for you guys. People are now nostalgic about games that they probably hated on years ago, but at that time, things weren't too rocky with Warzone integrations, QA getting fired, so they had some extra time to outsource a project like Infinite Warfare VR. And this was a fitting game for a VR experience, considering it took place in space. And like I said, I loved Infinite Warfare for a number of reasons, but we're not going to talk about that too much in this video. However, the VR experience to me was definitely warranted for this type of gameplay. But the fact that there is an article confirming that Treyarch at one point was playing around with virtual reality possibilities, that just tells you that they at one point likely considered something to do with maybe a zombies VR or some type of multiplayer game mode, maybe even a campaign add-on for a game like Black Ops 3, which I know came out before the PSVR did, but maybe there was some type of plan to have a Black Ops VR experience not too long after the launch of the headset itself. And considering COD 2023 is just around the corner, maybe that will be the time when they can say, alright, now we have some better technology, we have more capabilities with this new current gen hardware, which is the PS5, let's give it a go one more time. And maybe this time it just won't be a burden like it was in 2015. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comments section. Do you see Activision ever investing in some more Call of Duty VR experiences? Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be talking all about Vanguard Season 1 Reloaded when we get the official blog post about the mid-season update, as well as 115 Day from Treyarch. Lots to talk about with that. Figured I'd bring you guys a bit of a fun video tonight talking about something that I haven't seen anybody address in the Call of Duty community in years. I mean, this Jackal Assault mission is almost 6 years old, so it's crazy that we're revisiting this all this time later, but it is relevant considering the eventual launch of PSVR 2. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.